Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting news when it comes to PlayStation 5 botters and scalpers who actually got a little bit messed up all throughout today. We have a little bit of intriguing information to go and share, and also it's kind of fun for, us normal folks out there to have this very rare win. Now, as per usual, I don't want to give them credit per se, but typically botters are usually running at a pretty high rate, and they usually do have a pretty good success rate in general. So this is kind of like one of those really rare wins when it comes to us normal people, because there actually was a lot of big issues, and also a lot of really big issues in terms of one of the biggest botting groups out there that actually had their bots essentially not even running all throughout today's drop. So in case you guys were a part of today's drops, these were actually very good drops to be a part of, mainly because the botting numbers were very low, and as well just with how many random things were going on at the same time, basically bumped up the success rate for normal individual folks out there still trying to get their consoles. So we're going to talk about that, talk about the experience, talk about everything else, and overall it's been kind of a good day in general, so I'm pretty happy with it. So make sure you guys are subscribed before we fully dive in the video itself, and pop on the notifications as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. We'll be fully in the groove for that very soon. We have the Amazon links down below, although we did have an Amazon drop, which we'll talk about throughout this one. If you guys want to go check and see for round 2s or digitals or whatever, feel free to. The Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys would like to go and follow. And then sign up for Webull and sign up for Coinbase down below, get a bunch of free money, and let's go and dive in the video itself. So, as you guys can probably maybe tell by the title and video for this, today, we actually had a really rare W where botting groups, so people who basically are running basically autonomous software that are trying their best to constantly be running, trying to be buying out stock, trying to go bypass the normal websites and normal checkouts. And as they go and do that, obviously you guys can tell they go and buy a bunch of consoles. Sometimes they'll go and have 30, 40, 50, 60, hundreds of buys depending on the retailer in stock. Although today was a really rare win, as I said, that we actually got it with all them kind of with their pants down. So one of the biggest botting groups over here, aka Stellar, actually was not even fully online when these drops were ongoing as of today. Now let's go talk about a few little various things. And also, in all honesty, it kind of sucks to suck, I guess, for this one, although with how many thousands upon thousands of other consoles they've gotten, there's really not too much more we can say, but we got to go take the wins when we can go and get them. So when it comes to that stuff, I believe, at least this is based on my theory itself, I believe the bots were not necessarily coded correctly in terms of which drop to be on the lookout for. So as you guys know, we actually had one really random Amazon restock that happened today. And then right after, around about an hour later, Walmart did their own proper normal restock. So what I'm just assuming off this one, is that when it comes to bots, and when all these other things kind of happen all throughout these, console drops or whatever, you have to sometimes go and reconfigure up what you're actually watching, what you're refreshing, and what these bots are going for. Now, I just want to say in the general sense, though, you can also have bots out there that are just constantly 24/7 on every single website, checking every single place, and just nonstop. But of course, when it comes to these botting things, it actually does cost a lot more money, because then at that point, you're also checking other websites, more consistently checking more other websites, and you have a higher chance of getting caught when it comes to being bots. So I'm going to at least for all that type of stuff, it's really kind of more complicated, because let's go and say you have 5 websites open. You're always refreshing Target, Best Buy, Amazon, GameStop, or whatever. And then at that point, that's just, like I said, extra bandwidth, extra loading, extra features, extra things you have to do per bot, and extra new actions you have to be on top of. So that's 5 more actions instead of 1, say, for a lot of these botting groups. So say if you know there's going to be an Amazon drop throughout that day, confirmed on their website. At that point, you just pretty much go hardcore into Amazon, and you just keep on refreshing until you basically get the easy lock-in, and you make sure you can basically do it the second it goes live before normal individual people go and see it, because as I'm sure you guys know, normal folks, it takes time. If you want to see someone's tweet, someone has to make the tweet. They have to get the link. They have to make sure it's live. And then on top of that, once you go and click on the link, you have to have it load. You have to go press the buttons. It's not the biggest deal, but it can still take an extra 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how people's reaction speeds and how prepared they are and all that type of stuff. Now, when it comes to a bot, they can do all that whole entire process without even being on their computer within a 10-second radius, depending on the internet. But like I said, if you have multiple other things, you maybe have then at that point 10 different instances. And then on top of that, you maybe have a few thousand people running it. Then you have at that point maybe 50,000 instances. And then you guys can kind of see how these botting and key programs can kind of have issues. Because if everyone's trying to go run and reload all these programs, you have 50,000 instances. obviously you just can't do that long term because I'd just be using so much bandwidth, loading so many different pages. It's just very, very expensive for them to run. So my theory on this, and I could be wrong, but at least just based on, on my understandings of this, it kind of seems like they weren't expecting the Amazon restock. Now, as again, there are some bot programs that are out there 24/7 or just running Amazon, say 24/7, but it kind of seems like some of the biggest groups, such as even for this one over here, when it comes to Stellar, they just did not have everything all fully set up. And we actually had a lot of people complaining about it too as well. I saw some of that up in the social media. And one of the more intriguing things out there is as you guys go through all this, we didn't really see them kind of gloating and bragging as people usually would. Now, obviously, I'm sure there was a few people getting stock. I'm sure there's a few other companies out there getting stock. And I'm sure other botting groups as well had a chance to get stock. But if you look at, say, Target, they're like, oh my God, go look at Target. Let's go look at this. Let's do a quick recap of the Target PS5 restock. Well, like, look at all these checkouts. Omega lol, multiple users hitting 50 PS5s, blah, blah, blah. But funny enough, if you guys go through the profile with two really big and used to be very heavily botted drops, there hasn't been a single tweet. There hasn't been a single brag. There hasn't been a single success. And I think that's actually some awesome news to go and see. Because this is probably one of the biggest botting groups, I would say, where people are watching bots and seeing bots and all that stuff. So the fact that they don't have any gloating, I love this. The fact that it didn't seem like they hit a lot of stock, like they weren't getting a lot of Walmart stock or also Amazon stock, I love it. And that's why I think a lot of these drops are really good today. Because while, like I said, there probably are still botting groups running 24/7, probably watching all of these. Or maybe someone was just watching it and they were able to go allocate from Amazon really quickly, because it did seem like there was a 3 to 5 minute window before Amazon was fully live. But people basically were normal folks were able to go get their consoles and make sure they were happy and check out, no problem. And then it kind of had all the bots kick in, and then there was just basically the Amazon dogs and everything else swinging around. And then they probably had to go and then basically switch up all their tech and switch up everything else back over to Walmart because that drop was going to happen right afterwards. So they definitely still had bots, without a doubt. There's always bots running. There's either people running their own individual bots. We have these custom-coded ones, like the Stellars or the Snails that we've mentioned before. But the fact that it seemed like this kind of weird double whammy on top of the anti-botting framework, such as that Walmart's usually been trying to push in terms of them doing their, their queue systems and Walmart Pluses and all of that. Same with Amazon Prime with Amazon. It really was kind of a good day because I think a lot less botters got consoles. They didn't fully buy out stock. They didn't fully see it. But as well, it also let a lot of normal folks get their consoles like we mentioned. So at the end of the day, this is actually kind of a good vibe. And I do think a lot of folks are kind of sad about it too, which in all honesty, if you're a botter and you're trying to go buy 30, 40, 50 consoles and you're sad about it, and I saw people on social media complaining that there was issues or complaining it was offline or complaining that they weren't getting stock or just overall people in these big botting and reselling groups complaining even more. Funny enough, kind of rightfully so. It's kind of like, I guess almost like karma. It's like you get what you get. But when it comes to this, I like seeing the fact that these bots weren't there because so many normal people, as of these drops, Walmart and Amazon, got consoles. So many people were happy. So many people were getting stock. So many people were actually getting in checkouts and they didn't have to stress. And as well, the drop still didn't go super, super long. Walmart went longer because it's obviously a queue system and Amazon was kind of short. But when we had these nice, just breathable moments where you just didn't have to instantaneously click on it. Still had to be fast, mind me, don't get me wrong. But with all this stuff, seeing all this stuff out here with people getting their consoles and seeing these botters and seeing these, like I said, these botters upset because literally they just didn't work. A lot of these big botting groups were not running. They were not working, at least until instantaneously. And this is what I want to see even more of because I want normal people getting consoles. I want normal people getting the hookup. I want more normal people not having to go and have to instantaneously be on their phone with notifications on at 3 in the morning trying to get a target drop and have less of these botters having to deal with this stuff overall. But I do want to go and say this has been nice. I do like the idea that botting groups either are just not on top of their stuff, maybe they're just bored of it, maybe they're trying to move on. I love it. So hopefully this will kind of continue through other various drops, and that's why I'm kind of okay sometimes with these very sporadic drops if they also change their systems right beforehand, or even drops like Walmart where you do have to pay money for it, and it's not the best, but at least there's less botters and less scalpers kind of plaguing the drop itself, and more normal folks like you guys going and getting it. So at the end of the day, this has been kind of a good day so far. We'll probably have a little bit more news all throughout today as well, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console controller, Twitter and Twitch room as well, link down below, and sign up for that Weeble, sign up for that Coinbase, and if you guys are botters, I guess better luck on the next one. Love you guys all so much. You guys get your console, send me a tweet, and hook me on up. I would love to see it. Love you guys.